Hello class, here it's Mr. Cowboy here again, and today I will be dealing with the order of operations, which you should know as BEDMAS, B-E-D-M-A-S. So this is more or less a review lesson, but we are going to look at more complex examples so you have a better understanding of how order of operations works. All right, so let's get straight to it over here. All right, so when we're dealing with order of operations, keep in mind that what we want to do here, again, is to understand how the order of operations works, okay? And especially when you're dealing with operations that require two or more of the different types of order of operations. So when you're looking at the order of operations, keep in mind that the acronym BEDMAS is the order that you do things depending on when you see them. So anytime you look at an expression, always take a look at the entire question first and see what appears and what exactly is there. So for example, anytime you see an expression and there's a bunch of brackets, always look at the brackets first, okay? And then deal with what's inside of it and then deal what's on the outside of it. So we'll look at different examples there. Okay, now anytime you take a look at the brackets, the next thing you should look for are the exponents. Now, quite often the exponents are attached to brackets, okay? But if they're not, any numbers or any powers that have exponents, always simplify them according to that order. All right. Now, when it comes to division and multiplication, okay, anytime you see division and multiplication in an expression, you do those questions from left to right. So, for example, if you have something like 2 times 3, 2 times 3 times 1, okay, obviously you do that on the same step. Okay, so again, if you take a look at division and multiplication, do it from left to right. Okay, there is no order. So again, if you had something like 6 times 3 divided by 2, just do it in that order. Okay. Now, same thing with addition and subtraction. Again, you just do it in that order that you see it. Okay. However, if there's a combination of all of these, okay, and addition and subtraction is in there as well, okay, the addition and subtraction step will always be the final step, okay, and you can see that's how the acronym is laid out for you. Okay, so just start off with a guided example here. Notice that this example here does incorporate everything that we've mentioned here. So step number 1, always take a look at the brackets. Now, when you look at the brackets, you notice that we have numbers inside the bracket as well as an exponent on the outside. But again, when we're dealing with brackets, so you always start off from the inside and then start working your way out. So with the brackets here, the first thing we're going to do here is take the 6 and the 4, okay, and then add those two together first. So 6 plus 4 will give me 10, all right? Now, the next step that we're going to deal with here, okay, we're still going to look at brackets. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what do we need to do first when we have a number in front of the brackets, okay, as well as an exponent attached to the brackets? Again, according to the order operations, okay, you need to take a look at the exponents first. So in this case here, after you evaluate the 6 and the 4, which gives us 10, the next step you need to do here is to take the 10 and square it, okay? So 10 squared, or 10 times 10, gives me 100, okay? So you always, when you have that combination of a number in front of the brackets and exponent, always do the exponent first, okay? So that gives me 3 and 100. All right, now notice we're still in brackets. So our final step with the brackets in this case here is going to be 3 times 100, okay, which gives us 300. All right, now if you look at this next step here, we have 300 minus 20 divided by 5. So you have to ask yourself, what do we need to do first, subtraction or the division? So according to the order of operations, what we need to do here is the division first. So the next step here, we're going to take the 20, divide by 5, which gives me 4. Okay, then we have 300 minus 4, which gives me 296. Okay, so notice that in that one problem there, we used all six letters of the acronym BEDMAS. All right. Okay, so let's take a look at more examples here. And again, you're going to see as I go through this, I'm going to take it up a notch as we go through. Start off with a nice and easy one first. Okay, and then we progressively get harder. Okay, so the first step here, we have 3 minus 1 in brackets times 5. So don't forget, anytime you're dealing with brackets first, okay, always simplify those first. So 3 minus 1 is 2. Now, anytime you simplify something inside the brackets, okay, that automatically cancels out the brackets there. So notice in the next step over here, okay, the brackets are no longer there. 2 times 5, which is 10, okay? All right, for part B, Okay, again, going back to brackets, always deal with what's inside the brackets first. So in this case here, we're going to take the 2 and 3, add them together. 2 plus 3, that'll give me 5. And then 5 squared is 25. Okay, so notice in both cases here, we always dealt with what's inside the brackets first and then dealt with whatever was on the outside there. Okay, all right, next part, we have 3 plus 18 divided by 3. So take a moment to take a look at C. Now, we notice we have addition and division in the same question here, but again, according to the order of operations, we need to divide first. So step number 1, okay, we need to take the 18 divided by 3 first. That gives me 6. And then 3 plus 6 will give me 9. Okay. Now, for part D, you notice we have 2 sets of brackets here. Now, since we have 2 sets of brackets, I'm going to just show you a little bit of a shortcut that you can take care of the brackets in both of those brackets in a single step here. So by doing that, we're going to take the 7 minus 1, okay, take care of that as well, and then the 5 minus 3. We're going to take that all care in one shot here. Okay, so what's going to happen here is that what we have here is 7 minus 1, which gives me 6, okay, and then 5 minus 3, which gives me 2. All right. Now for this case here, again, I want you to take a look at the operation over here. Notice that what we have here is 4 in bracket 6, so always have to deal with the brackets first. Now, here's something you just need to know about numbers that are side by side by brackets, okay? So notice that what you have is 4 bracket 6, okay, which is indeed multiplication. However, since it is in brackets first, you always have to take care of the brackets first, okay? So 6 times 4 is 24. 24 divided by 2, that's going to give me 12, all right? Okay, so this next part, again, taking up a notch here, we have 6 times 4 plus 3 squared minus 6. So notice that we have a combination of multiplication, addition, subtraction, as well as an exponent. So if you look at the order of operations, we need to take care of the exponent first. So 3 squared, that gives me 9. Now notice as I'm going through these steps here that all solutions are written from the top to the bottom with 1 equal sign per line. Please make sure you are doing that as you're doing these examples because it does display good form over here. So what we have here is 6 times 4 plus 9 minus 6. Okay, so next step what we have to do here is take multiplication. Okay, and we multiply the 6 and the 4 first, which gives me 24. Now in the last step here, when you have addition and subtraction all in one line, you can simplify it from there, which gives me 27. All right. Okay, next one over here, we have 10 divided by brackets, 10 minus 2 to the exponent 3, and what we have there is everything that's inside the brackets. Now, pay very close attention to this next step here, okay? So according to the order of operations, we need to do the brackets first. Now, keep in mind that anytime brackets are involved, you always have to take a look at what's in the inside. So if you focus on the inside over here, okay, what we want to do here is focus on the 10 minus 2 to the exponent 3. Now notice that inside the brackets there is something with an exponent, so we have to take care of that first. So step number 1, we need to take care of the 2 to the exponent 3, which is 8. Okay, and that's going to simplify itself to 10 minus 8 inside the brackets. Okay, and then 10 minus 8 will give me 2. Okay, and then 10 divided by 2 will give me 5. All right, so again, just be careful when you're dealing with the exponents that happen to be inside the brackets, and you always take care of that first. All right, so continue working on in the questions that are inside the package over there, and I will see you in the next lesson.